To talk to you. My name is Heyl. I'm your current EACC president. A couple things I'd like to talk to you about are some things I campaigned on 3 years ago and give you some status updates on those, and some things I'd like to accomplish in the next 3 years if I'm fortunate enough to get reelected as your EACC president. One of the things I ran on was getting a multi-year contract. And of course, the contract is negotiated by, the negotiations team. And they're an integral part of this process. And we take all the input from members and from reps and get the full conglomerate of what we want to negotiate for. But in order to get a multi-year contract, I took a meeting with Commissioner President Collins, and I said, these are the advantages of a multi-year contract. And then I took a meeting with Superintendent Navarro, had a conversation about these are the advantages of a multi-year contract. So when the negotiations team was negotiating, there were pieces of the puzzle already in place behind the scenes that helped make that happen. What does that mean for you? That means this year, those on step 3 to 19 got a 7.75 salary increase. It means that next year, without negotiating, it will be a 7.75 increase again, which means if you're on steps 3 to 19, you're getting an over 15% raise. For those of you at the top of the scale that sometimes feel forgotten about, you're getting a 5% this year and a 5% next year for a total of 10%. It means that we will meet the $60,000 threshold of the blueprint a year ahead of time. That was one of the things I campaigned on, was having a multi-year contract. Another thing that I campaigned on was trying to increase member agency. And one of the ways I did that was to bring in the building action team, which expanded our rep programs in the buildings. It gave lanes for each role that reps could do. So if you don't want to, our reps didn't have to be all things to all people. There were people that could do the government things. There were people that could do the promotion things. There were people that could do the contract things. And it spread out the work. Well, why is that an advantage? Because it makes more people involved in the association. It makes more people in contact with the EACC front office up here. And it makes better communication between buildings and the EACC office, which increases the communication that I can give to people that I'm speaking to. Another way I increased agency was to make sure y'all knew what was going on. I started On the Go, which is a monthly newsletter that goes to all of you on things going on with EACC, committees, activities, opportunities, and things like that. Did not forget about our Unit 2 people. Created a Unit 2 take where every quarterly we're sending out the Unit 2 take to those members about issues that are germane to them. Another publication I started was the BOE update, because you're all teaching when they're meeting. So I started sending out monthly updates on what's going on at the Board of Ed meetings. So there's a lot of things I've done for communication and to try and increase agency. The third thing that I ran on was trying to fix the mess, and it's been a mess for a long time, the extra pay for extra duty positions. We started a committee. We met actually tonight. I just came from a meeting with the extra pay for extra duty committee. This was our 6th meeting. We have job descriptions completed. We're working on evaluation, and we're trying to figure out the pay scales moving into the next meeting. Those were the things I said I wanted to do, and all of them I've accomplished on some level, and I've not given up on any of them. And to quote John F. Kennedy, we decide to do the other things not because they are easy, but because they are hard. I did not make sugar-coated promises 3 years ago. I picked 3 hard things, and I've accomplished 2 of them, and I'm working really hard on the 3rd one. So now what? What's next? Well, I want to continue some of this work. I want another multi-year contract. I want more agency. I want at least 3 building reps in every building for a building action team. I'd like to continue to work on things that help all educators, like discipline. We still need to continue to address discipline. We're nowhere near where we want to be on that score. I want to give educators more time to do the job effectively. And if there's more things addressed with discipline and educators are given more time, this will help make the workload a bit more manageable. And that's what we all need to have happen. I'd also like to see planning time be what it is in the contract, which is something that's not been addressed also for years. These are things that I'd like to see happen in the next 3 years. I'd also like to, for Unit 2, see some form of onboarding or training where people are not just thrown into leadership positions without given the proper tools to do them well. And I'd like EACC to be a part of that process to make sure people are getting the tools they need to do the job well. I'd also like to keep updating all of you on what's going on with the blueprint as we get further and further down the road, there's more and more of it being implemented, and I'd like to make sure everybody was on the same page about what that means. Why are these things important? Why do I care? Why am I here? Because it's all about all of us. In this era where we know there's so many people putting their finger on the scales of education, we know we got to teach everybody. We also know as educators, we represent everybody. So it's not about one opinion or one person. It's about moving together the organization. Because one thing we all know is children learning conditions are faculty working conditions. So those two things go hand in hand. We need everybody together on this. And I've been working really hard for the last 3 years to bring everybody together. And I'd like 3 more years to keep that work moving along. Sean Heyl, your current EACC president. I'm not done working for you. I'm not done working with you, not yet. Voting opens January 29th, and I hope I get your vote. Thank you very much for your time.